Ugh. Yeah, sorry, Marionette. You should take the day off for this one. I think I got it covered. Hello, and welcome to the bonus episode of Prize Corner Season 2. Now, the last time I did one of these bonus episodes, I reviewed the newest Funko Advent Calendar. And while I do really like that video, I think it holds up pretty well. You know, something that I could do to get a video out in January, but still be able to take like a break, you know? So this year I'm doing things a little different. I really didn't want this video to just be me talking about one thing or, you know, like a very shitty scripted video. So I kind of wanted to do a middle ground. The way I make my show, I can't review a merch item unless I have the full wave. But that does mean that some items that I own that I really like, but that just like could never possibly fit into a video, it means that I never get to talk about them. So in this video, I will be talking about around 25-ish items that I really love, or maybe have some opinions on that I want to share. It just doesn't make sense in any other context to talk about this. Now, this context of where I can't talk about this thing can be a couple things. It could be that the rest of the merch wave that it belongs to is way too expensive and I just could never afford to buy all of those things. Or it could be that it was kind of not really a FNaF item, but I still kind of want to talk about it. It's things that didn't really release in any wave. So this right here is our first item, which is the GameStop exclusive Five Nights at Freddy's movie Cupcake Plush. This thing is really good. But as Mr. Cupcake here was the only plush to release in this FNaF movie plush wave, there's no possible way I can make a video on just this thing right here. So the way this video is gonna work is that I have absolutely no script. I didn't write down what I want to say about these items. I have kind of been going back and forth on if I want to put these items in the tier list. It doesn't feel really fair. At the same time, there is no time in the history of this channel that I'll ever be able to talk about this plush in a normal context, like a context that makes sense. So this is what I'm doing. The only thing that I actually did end up planning was the rankings for the items. That requires a little bit more thought. I didn't want to just make that up on the top of my head. And while yes, it'll be a lot to add to a tier list in between seasons, I think it'll make sense in the long run. But yeah, I should say the camera and the microphone are on complete opposite sides of my filming setup here. But if you ever do notice a fluctuation in audio, that's because I'm turning to make sure the camera is actually in focus because this thing's a piece of shit. Let's get started because we have a lot to cover today and I really don't want this video to be that long. All right, so the FNaF movie Cupcake Plush is incredibly good. Like, I don't think it's perfect. I think that it's pretty damn close, especially for Funko, but oh my god, he looks just goddamn like him. If you put this plushie next to a picture of the cupcake in the movie, they literally look the exact same. Maybe he's a little bit more round, a little less tall, but I think they did an incredible job here. The eyes are so detailed. The eyelids here have like stitching on it. Half of this dark part here is the back of the head, like the empty eye socket, and half of it is the eyelid of the character. I really like the candle up here. I thought they did a good job here. This up here is printed fabric, which I usually don't really like. It's printed on this kind of rougher material here. With usual printed fabric, you can kind of like do this, where you like push it back and you can see the original color underneath, but you can't do that here. It's a good fabric to be printed on. I think they did a good job. The candle up here is the same material they used on the toy cupcake plushie as well. So it's actually glistening and it kind of shines in the light. I don't know how well that is coming out across, but it's the same basic material they use on the special delivery plushies, if you've seen those. One thing I don't like about this plush is the candle, like the icing kind of encases the candle, and it kind of makes it look like it has like the candle's going into its fucking like butthole. And I don't like that. I guess I'm not so sure about the movie itself, but Mr. Cupcake kind of has a striped pattern, and they didn't really capture that very well. It's just a brown mass, and I think it looks okay. They use this like lined felt material, and I do like how it feels. It feels very different from the big fluffy cupcake up here. It's kind of a little rougher, and well, I usually wouldn't like a little rougher on my plushie. I actually do think they contrast very well. On the bottom, they have a kind of a hard plate. It's not too hard, but like, yeah, if that hits you in the wrong direction, that could maybe hurt a little bit. But like I'm saying, I'm excusing this stuff, but materials that don't feel good to the touch of your skin on a plushie is horrible all the goddamn time. Don't do that. I guess I don't really cuddle my plushies that much. This is a very cuddleable plushie, but for the most part, I'm just gonna have this kind of on a shelf up high. So I don't really see that big of a deal with it. Another thing I have a problem with is his buck teeth. The eyebrows on the classic plushies, they're not really connected. They're just flappy, and they're supposed to be like this, but instead they're like that. And it's like, that looks really weird. He's got an overbite. This plushie retailed for $40. But I actually think that's kind of worth it. Overall, I would have preferred if they just made this a regular sized cupcake plush like the original toy cupcake. This thing is life size. This is how big the cupcake would be if you had it in real life. Putting it in your hand like this, it really puts it in perspective. Like that is how it should look, and it's pretty crazy. So overall, the FNaF movie Mr. Cupcake plush is actually amazing. Funko's really been stepping up their game lately, especially with the figures and the most recent pops and these plushies. Really good stuff. Man, I really hope Funko doesn't lose the ability to make these things forever and ever. The FNaF movie cupcake is going to be getting a 9 out of 10. It's a really conflicting score for me. Part of me feels like 9 is too high for this thing, but at the same time, it's not literally perfect. It does have issues, and if I can name more than 3 things that I don't like about a merch item, well, I'm sorry, not even I can make a 10 out of 10 make sense in this situation. But you know what? For whatever flaws this thing has, at least it's not the Youtooz one. Although I will say that their movie plush is a little bit better, but nothing compared to this, like, come on. So, first item down. Let's move on. Next up is our first figure of the video, which I really did have to stretch for these. Most figures that I own belong to a set I want to review. I actually could not find a single FNaF, like, action figure that I could put in this video. Anything I could have possibly done, I either didn't have and didn't want to buy, or I wanted to make a full video at some point. Here's what we got instead. Balloon Boy Funko Pop. This was one of the things I wasn't really sure if I wanted to cover. I do like this Funko Pop. I do think it's very nice. You know, I can't talk for hours about it, which is probably a good thing because this video is gonna be very long. Let's get this guy out of the box while I keep talking. So, Balloon Boy here is really good looking. He looks just like the character. Some of his colors are a little off. He's very damaged, if you could see. That's because he is well loved. This here is where I insert that clip of that one plush video I made. Me and my husband threw him around for like 8 hours. Dude, he did not want to do what we told him to. It was miserable. But yeah, so he's a little damaged, but I wasn't planning on reselling this guy anytime soon, so it's okay. So this guy was released as an extra pop as part of the Wave 2 line of the FNaF series. As you can see on the back of the box, that was based on the Nightmares and also for some reason Toy Cupcake. This was around the time when they really started going all in on bonus pops, which was such a strange choice. But one of these ones that they made was Balloon Boy, which is a very strange choice. I'm not gonna say it's a bad one. I think Balloon Boy is very underrated in merch. It's really interesting to me because Funko made the Balloon Circus wave, which was all based on Balloon Boy, but Balloon Boy wasn't even in it, which is so strange. This Balloon Boy pop here has one thing that the Balloon Circus could never have: being good. That's what I like about this pop. The balloon sign looks incredible. I really love how his joints turned out. Those look really nice. His ball body is like perfect size. I don't think the head works as a Funko Pop all that much. I do think they got the nose and the mouth like spot on. I think the hat and the hair looks pretty all right. My problem comes in with the eyes are way too far apart. I know that's just the Funko style, but it just does not look like Balloon Boy, really. And obviously with the no color, he just looks so soulless. He looks more like one of the dolls on the front cover of the Puppet Carver book. What pisses me off about the colored eyes is that the Nightmares, which were in the set that he was supposed to be in, they did have the colored eyes, so it's something that they can do. My main problem with him here is his balloon. For some reason, this thing is solid. So as you can see, this thing does not stay up. It droops so much. It's in this permanent shape where if I try to bend this into shape, it just droops back, you know? And if I put any more pressure on it, like there, it will break. This thing is so fragile, I can tell. Because of the balloon being so heavy, this thing does not stand up, and they didn't think to give it a stand for some reason. I have no idea why. It baffles me how Funko just does not give things stands that clearly need it. It's so weird. I also have a few problems with the colors. The buttons on his chest are like tan. Same with the stick on the balloon. It's like his skin tone, which is really weird because both of those problems are non-existent on the box of the figure. So now I really don't know what to think. What I'm trying to say is that for at the time, this is a very creative pop. I'm gonna give the Balloon Boy Funko Pop a 7 out of 10. Not really sure if that's a fair score or not, but I don't really care all that much if I'm being honest. So let's put him back in the box and move along to our next review. And now that I've zoomed my camera out, I'm gonna have to zoom it in all the way back in again because the next item is the smallest thing I own. You can already see a problem I have with this thing. This thing is so damn small, and his head is so damn fat that he will never stand up. The Helpy mystery mini, and oh my god, it is so good. So I got really close to the mic there. I'm trying to compensate. Like, look at how goddamn tiny he is. They really did a good job with the Helpy merch, ignoring the plush. The pop does this little dancing pose, which is so good. And while they couldn't fit that onto the mystery mini, instead they put him in this, you know, legs apart, arms wide open for a hug pose, and it's really cute and I love it. His colors are really nice. The pink color is this like nice pale pink. I'm a huge fan of it. Oh my god, his ass is so fucking dumpy, dude. Oh my god. One of the very few things Helpy has to himself is his buck teeth, and they gave him 4 teeth. Worst figure, 0 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. I like this thing. It's good. This is one of those things that I threw on here because I wanted to make the video a bit longer. The Pizzeria Simulator wave of mystery minis is never going to be complete. I would love to complete it. It's genuinely really good. And that Scrap Baby mystery mini is one of my favorite pieces of merch of all time. Yeah, I'm not collecting this whole series. That's why he's here. I'd love to talk about him, but there's just never going to be a feasible possibility for that to happen. Either way, Helpy's mystery mini will be getting a 7 out of 10. I don't have a lot to say about him, except that he's adorable and his head's really fat. And his ass is really fat. Okay, anyway, moving on. With our first 3 merch items done, we have come to the first intermission. Yes, and okay, it's not really an intermission. Don't click off the video yet. I underestimated something. There's a series of merch items that in no way will I ever be able to review. The sets aren't very large. They're usually only about like 6 or 7 items long, but because of how sought after and unique they are, the prices of these things skyrocket. And even the smallest merch item in this line is hundreds of dollars. And while I really wanted to cover this, I kinda didn't realize how many I had. I thought, you know, oh, I'll cover 1, maybe 2, but as I laid them all out for the first time in years, because they've just kind of been rotting in a box for a while because they take up so much space, I looked at them and I said, damn it, I gotta talk about all of these, don't I? And yes, I do. Because if I don't talk about the McFarlane construction sets today, I will never talk about them again. I had to go get them. Don't look at my butt. So as you can see here, we have a couple categories here. Big sets, tiny sets, and well, bigger sets, but I actually don't have any of those bigger sets. And then this last category, my category here, is singular minifigures, which I could not resist talking about them. Okay, not Rockstar, but I could resist talking about him, but I was going to talk about another one of the Rockstar characters, and it felt weird to leave him out. I know it's really weird to cover 1/4 of a merch item, but if I'm being honest, the playsets are not this series' strong suit. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet and mainly review the minifigures with the backgrounds as more of a... it's also there. But let's get started, because I, to my last count, have 14 things I need to talk about with McFarlane. Let's start low and get high. How about that? I'm gonna be fully honest with you. The only reason Rockstar Bonnie's McFarlane figure is here is because it wouldn't make sense to include only 1 Rockstar animatronic and not the other 2 that come in the set. 3 out of 10. I don't know, he's not horrible. He looks enough like him, but he doesn't have his guitar, which obviously I get. His muzzle looks really like crusty and weird. I don't know how well it comes across. It just looks really bad. I don't know. I think in general, I just don't like Rockstar Bonnie. But I will say, this being the only merch he ever got does make it kind of cool, but it's still a 3 out of 10. Nightmare Chica and, Right Hallway. The reason I specifically wanted to talk about this one, because this is one of the ones I was definitely going to include, even if I didn't do all of them, is because she is one of the very few pieces of Nightmare Chica merch that actually got her eyes correct. Yeah, she doesn't have those 3D eyes that Funko gives every single piece of merch items that they have. Youtooz, please. Please, Youtooz, I'm begging you. Don't do this again. Please, make them gray. Her eye is disabled, it's gray, it's not blue. But no, it looks great, and McFarlane came through and made a really great Nightmare Chica figure. It's not one I'm like absolutely in love with or whatever. I don't really like her black toes, that looks a little strange, and well, the Nightmare Cupcake is really charming. It does look kind of stupid. And I do really like the window set that comes with it. I really like how they did the FNaF 4 stuff. They gave the walls that, the printing, the same wallpaper that the games have. I just think it's so interesting that this is in a FNaF merch, this wallpaper printing. It's so strangely nostalgic to me, and I really like it. I think it's a pretty perfect set, but obviously You know, this tiny little thing is not very interesting. But this is what we're judging. We're judging Chica, not really the set around it. I'm gonna give Nightmare Chica a 7 out of 10. Like, I think it's a good figure, but I think there is a lot better, and we'll see them as we come along. So 7 out of 10, I think that's fair for this pretty good McFarlane figure. And lastly, we have the biggest set of this trio here, but we have more to come. The Mangle Vent Repair set, which is actually a set I don't really like. Here, you know what? Let's start with the set actually behind it. Because actually, fun fact, Mangle is not exclusive to this set, but we'll get to that. The set itself is fine. Like, it's pretty cool to look at. Especially, I've been playing a lot of Help Wanted lately. I've been gathering footage for a big video I'm making soon. So it is really cool seeing like the skip button on the wall there. And like the panel, and there's another one in there with the handle and the gauges. It's cool. I do like seeing it. Part of me feels like this set is incredibly half-assed. McFarlane was known for making the most creative shit. It's like, even if they did do a re-release, you know, they would change something. You know, they'd give Toy Bonnie his guitar, or they'd give Bonnie not his guitar. It makes this figure still exclusive, but it's more than they had to do. They could have just, you know, released the same exact figure again. But they didn't, because McFarlane's better than that. Until they weren't better than that. The last 2 waves of these were incredibly disappointing. Not only were the sets really boringly designed, like 2 of them were just stages that weren't fun to put together. They'd re-release Mangle with no other changes. Like, he's not even like Shadow Mangle, you know? This is just Mangle. They re-released Freddy with a sticker on his belly. Ooh, so different. And even when they do make a new figure, it's like, yes, they can make a good figure. We've seen that with the Rockstar animatronics. But this is what their molten Freddy looked like. Part of me is kind of glad they never made an Afton or a Scrap Baby. I mean, they made so many FNaF 1 sets, and each one of them were so creative, even though they had nothing else to cover. Which is why, seeing how they treated 2 of the most creative FNaF games out there, Help Wanted and Pizzeria Simulator, like, imagine this set in an earlier wave. We could have gotten all 3 of the vents. Ooh. Or like maybe even like a regular grate. They just printed it on a little like plastic sheet, and it just lays there. One thing McFarlane does badly is structurally stability. If I pressed on this thing a tiny bit of pressure, the entire thing would collapse in a second. So while I do like the feeling that this set gets off, God, we could have had so much more. As I already said, Mangle is basically just the original figure re-released. I think maybe they optimized it a little bit, but I kind of can't really tell. I mean, when the original Mangle figure came out, I mean, this is what we were used to with Funko. Awful. So this is obviously better than that, but I don't know. There's something about this that just has no whimsy to it. One thing I can actually say that's pretty cool about this is you can take Mangle's head off here, and there's a little hole, and you can fit Mangle's head in that hole, and it looks like she's coming through the vent. Okay, that's pretty damn cool. I'm not even gonna sit here and claim this is a bad set, because really it isn't. It's probably the best set that they released in that wave, but I still can't sit here and tell you that this is something that I'd say I like. The Mangle Vent Repair Construction set is going to be getting a 5 out of 10. Anyway, let's move on to something a little bit more exciting as we move back to the non-McFarlane sets. Trust me, we'll be back. Alright, I'm actually not sure what I want to do next. I have a plushie and I have a figure. Have a coin in real life, so let's just do that. Alright, heads, I do the plush. Oh shit, it's Tails! You know what time it is? It's time for Markipler! Yeah! So this one's gonna need a bit more of an explanation. Does this count as FNaF merch? I've actually thought about this quite a bit, and obviously the conclusion I've come to is yes. The fact is, this figure is called King of FNaF Markipler. You know, like it or not, this is a licensed FNaF product. They had to get Scott's permission to do this. If we turn this to the back, we can even see they used the template that they used to use on their Youtooz boxes to like put Markipler in the hallway, and it looks like not threatening. Like I'm not scared of this. Like, why did they do that? But it's a nice touch. I like that they copied the FNaF boxes, even though as we pull him out of the box and we see the number, obviously this is not a part of the FNaF line. Because right here, they would say it, and its number would be a lot lower. So while I have thought about covering this as part of my regular scripted videos, it just doesn't really make all that much sense. Plus, I don't have all of these FNaF collabs. I don't have the Rasbowski one. I don't have any of the Fusion Z Gamer ones. I only have Markiplier, the Dawko ones, and something you'll see a bit later. The box is first, as always. The side quote here says, "I always win." The man, the myth, the legend, the king himself. No man, beast, nor murderous animatronic is going to knock him down from his throne. He's seen the worst of them, and he will always make it to the next night. And the top flap says, "The king is here." So, look, these quotes are fine. I'm not the biggest fan of when they just do like a sales pitch. Like, I already own the figure. You don't need to sell me on it. It is straight up criminal that not one of these quotes is, "I am the king of Five Nights at Freddy's." That's like literally the line where he got the name from. How did they not do that? This box is amazing. The box of parts from FNaF 3 here, so we get a lot of references, subtle references there with the toy animatronics and the V guitar, which is kind of funny that they included that. We also have Bonnie, Foxy, Freddy, and Chica all broken up. And then up here, we have Mangle and Circus Baby. Now, whereas we've gotten Mangle now, Circus Baby is still not come. So please, Youtooz, please fulfill your prophecy and make Circus Baby already. I'm begging you. In his little hand, he has a spring trap, which, if you look really closely, actually has red inside of his mouth. So this box for Markiplier's FNaF Youtooz is more accurate than the actual FNaF Youtooz of Springtrap. That's incredibly sad. Let's open this thing. Out of the box, I'm gonna be fully honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this thing. It's not bad. I mean, it's detailed. I love how the throne looks. It looks absolutely majestic, dude. It's really well modeled figure. I think Markiplier looks a good deal like his older self. Like, maybe not so much his current self, but I look at this is Markiplier. But he's got his logo with the mustache, and he's wearing, like, Freddy's pelt, I guess, which is a very nice touch. I do like that. I'm gonna be honest, this has absolutely nothing to do with FNaF. Like, they got the FNaF license to do this figure, and there's, like, not one thing on this that's, like, exclusively FNaF. Like, yeah, that's probably Freddy's ear and there's Freddy's nose under there, but like, for all I know, that could just be a regular bear. Like, there's nothing on this cool-ass throne, by the way, not man standing. Like, yeah, it's really well modeled. I love his pose with the kicked up legs and the little finger point. It looks amazing, dude, but it doesn't have anything to do with FNaF. I'm sorry, if you showed this to someone who'd never seen this figure before, their immediate thought would not be, "Oh yeah, that's King of FNaF Markiplier." I'm overreacting. It's a good figure. I like Markiplier, so I'm happy to have it in my collection. My point is that it's kind of extremely sad that the box that he comes in has 10 times more FNaF representation than the actual figure. But I'll be giving the King of FNaF Markiplier Youtooz a 7 out of 10. Yeah, another one, I know. See you around, Markiplier. Let's stand back a little bit as we're gonna cover something a lot more simple. I had quite a lot to say about that Markiplier one. Here we're gonna talk about one of my favorite FNaF merch items of all time, but also one I don't have that much to say about. It's the Spring Bonnie Funko plush. This thing is perfection. Exclusive to Hot Topic, the tag just says Five Nights at Freddy's, but this thing was released basically right in the middle of Pizzeria Simulator, which is possibly because Spring Bonnie appears in that game. But I've also heard some people claim that this is based on the Spring Bonnie plush from Help Wanted. But if you were gonna ask me what I think this plushie is based on, well, it's obviously Adventure Spring Bonnie, right? They got the pretty little printed on eyelashes, which actually looks pretty good. The bright, beautiful green eyes, and 2 little buttons and a purple bow tie. A problem that a lot of companies have is that they never do the color quite right. But here, they use this like yellowish orange color with normal yellow as the accents, and oh my god, it looks absolutely beautiful. The ears are a nice shape. They kind of bend outwards here. And like, they are really close. That's a problem with a lot of the Bonnie plushies. But as they bend outwards, it kind of makes it look a little more natural. Like instead of like being like one big bunny ear mass, it kind of looks more like they're like this, which is a bit better. And I think they did a good job with that. The nose is adorable and small. They've got the Pizzeria Simulator eye rings, which is something that's kind of controversial with FNaF fans, but I actually really adore. And of course, this plushie changed the original Bonnie mold for forever. Every single Bonnie after this has used this mold. Look at this adorable bunny frown. Oh my god, it is so goddamn cute. I don't know what it is, but this little sad face fits this silly little rabbit so much, and it easily makes it one of my absolute favorite plushies of all time. Not even just Funko plushies, like one of my favorite plushies. And while I didn't have as much to say about it as the movie Cupcake Plush, this is easily my first 10 out of 10 of the video. And yes, I said first. I love this thing, and it will always be one of the highlights of my collection, and I'm really happy to be talking about it here today and to put it on the tier list. So, say goodbye, Spring Bonnie. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Okay, get over here. All right, we got 3 more McFarlane related. Yes, I know it's probably a little silly to review stuff this non-complete, but I just couldn't help it. There was no way in my mind I could leave out one of these reviews. They're just, I had to do all of them. Let's do Foxy first, because he is really annoying me. Foxy was released in the parts and service set, and this was a real good set. For being an area that you don't really see much in the game, they did a really good job translating it into construction brick form. The minifigure here is absolutely outstandingly amazing. I don't even like Withered Foxy that much. That's how good this thing is. His face just has this beautiful stunned expression with the open eye patch. His giant like long jaw, they did a really good job capturing that. A little less wavy for my tastes. His open and crooked jaw, it looks so good. It's crazy how good they are at capturing these tiny little details on these fucking giant figures. If I had to complain about something, his hook looks more like a sickle, like Grim Foxy would have, which is a little weird. And his back, just like most of the McFarlane figures, is very uninteresting. Either way, this is a good figure, but I don't have that much more to say about it. It's really well done. I'm gonna give McFarlane Withered Foxy an 8 out of 10. But that's all I gotta say. So let's move on to this set here, which is very weird. This is a set of Phantom Foxy in the Cam 8 hallway, which is not somewhere he shows up. I'm able to excuse it a little bit because I get it. Like, they wanted to make as many sets based on like these games as possible, and you only have so many things you can do. These characters appear in very specific locations, and it's like that you would want to like, oh, like Cam 8's a very iconic camera, and well, you didn't capture it very well. You did a tiny little wall that doesn't even have the Balloon Boys Air Adventure poster on it. Chica's lights aren't even lit up, and she has her bottom jaw, which is really strange. It's not even anchored to the ground, so it slides off every time you try to do anything with it, which is really annoying. There's not even presents or the puppet's mask on the wall. But you know what? Actually, that's a lot of bad things I just named. I don't like this set at all. It is very weird that they put Phantom Foxy in Cam 8. That's very strange, but there weren't really any other characters who could have gone in Cam 8. Oh, except for the one character that shows up in Cam 8, Phantom Marionette, who has never gotten merch, by the way. They could have just put Phantom Foxy in the one hallway with the Foxy head on the wall, and it would have made a lot more sense. Even after getting the Youtooz version of this character, the McFarlane figure of Phantom Foxy is still the best merch we'll ever get of this character. Phantom Foxy is not green, he's red. All merch of Phantom Foxy is just regular classic Foxy, but tinted green. He's not even green! This figure is amazing. And well, this I love his phantom eye that he has. It looks really good. I love that his eye patch is lower. He's even missing his arm. A lot of attention to detail. They did an amazing job with this stupid character no one cares about. So with that, I want to give Phantom Foxy a 9 out of 10. I really like when the attention to detail is given to characters who maybe don't deserve it. It does make me feel very nice. Okay, anyway, let's talk about this thing. As you can see, I'm missing half the fucking bedroom wall. The bedside table is completely gone. And Phantom Freddy not only is missing one of his legs, but is really drunk. But I had to talk about it. Yeah, I know. I probably shouldn't have included this one in the video, but dude, look at those freckles, dude. Look at that Nightmare Freddy head. Oh my god, it looks amazing. Look at how they did the Nightmare hands. Like, that is a really well done Nightmare hand, especially on a figure this small. Like, that's pretty crazy. But the main attraction here is the freckles. These are really awesome. Usually it only gives you one. These guys gave you 3, and it's really amazing. And while it's maybe not as much as I would like, the Freddles have variations. This one has a tear in his face right there in his muzzle, as well as a tear in his head. This one's kind of more clean than the other ones, and this one has a tear in the other head. While that isn't really the variation they have in game, it is nice to know that someone like McFarlane will make changes like that, even if it's not necessary. It's really weird seeing this wallpaper texture on like a printed physical object. It's really weird, but I love it, absolutely love it. Especially with the bed. This like pinwheel quilt that the bed has is really cool looking, and I cannot believe we have official merch of the fucking bedspread from FNaF 4. That's really cool. This set is a very simple one, but that's really all it needed to be. And I think I'll be giving Nightmare Freddy an 8 out of 10. Part of me really wanted to give this thing a 9. I mean, even just the bed itself is really cool. But from what I remember, putting this bed together was absolutely miserable. That aside from like, yes, the Freddles are good, but they're not supposed to be the main attraction here. The main attraction is supposed to be this guy. And this guy is just kind of, he's fine. Enough said, let's move on. This is my favorite mystery mini that I own. This figure did the impossible and made me love merch of a character I cannot stand the look of. Even ignoring how I feel about the character itself, which isn't positive, the design of Ennard is awful, and I will not shut up about that. His weird, skinny, spindly body with weird muscles and one button and weird, like, baby face mask with a muzzle on it. It just looks really awful. That is when he's wearing that mask. Has the mask off, like spaghetti vomit coming out of his mouth. You can see it on this figure, obviously. And these sharp teeth, and you can see that disabled eye a lot better, and the one coming off of his side of his head. It just looks so much better than the stupid white mask that I hate. And this mystery mini captures that design, making it look even better. I think they tried to capture his appearance in the fake ending of Sister Location, where he scoots in from the side of the room. He is wearing his mask in that scene, but as you can see, his body is all tentacles, kind of like Molten Freddy. And oh my god, it is modeled very well. You can see the eyes of the other characters in there. You can even kind of see part of his back being made up, and you know, the muscles of his arms starting to come together, which is really cool. You can even see the button, but it's a little more hidden, which looks better. Why does he even have a button? It doesn't make sense. Why does Ennard have a button on this endoskeleton? They just shoved their endoskeletons together. Why does he have a button? If this figure was just the naked Ennard thing and that was it, it would not be as good as it is. The fact that they gave him the mask and then opened it like faceplates is absolutely genius. I love the birthday hat kind of poking off the side there. The empty sockets of the mask just, you know, giving way to this kind of creepy, uncanny feeling that maybe Ennard's supposed to have. He has both of his eyebrows. Thank fuck. I don't know what the back of Ennard's head looks like, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm not even gonna question if this is accurate, because it looks really, really well done and specific. This mystery mini was part of the Twisted Ones and Sister Location set. They did not have enough Sister Locations characters to fill this set, leading to some really random ones like Afton crawling his way out of Springtrap. That's a really cool mystery mini. I'd love to get that to review it for this video. Oh, it's $200? It's $200?! Okay, well, anyway, since that video is never gonna happen, I love these minis. I love them so much. I have to be honest, they can be really uncreative. But the fact that they took a character like Ennard, who really didn't have another form they could have made, and they made him basically an original one that blows any version of him from the actual series out of the water, well, it breaks my mind a little bit. I hope this isn't a surprise, but the Jumpscare Ennard mystery mini is going to be getting a 10 out of 10. It is a perfect FNaF item. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do a quick one. Toy Cupcake. I mean, the nightmares aren't even that hard to find. I just think I'd drop dead if I ever spent any money at all on that Mangle plushie. This Toy Cupcake plushie is really good. I just don't understand why they made it. Funko for some reason went all in on the Toy Cupcake. And by all in, I mean 2 figures, but still, that's weird, right? The eyes are bulging out, which look really nice, and the blue accents look a lot better than the yellow ones on the original Cupcake, which I just don't like as much. The candle up here is a little less rough than the Mr. Cupcake one that we saw earlier with the movie one. It's a little softer, and the printed out material here, well, I feel like it's not supposed to be like this, but it's really crusty and gross. It's the same shiny material that they used on the movie Cupcake Plush. Obviously, this one came first, though, so it gets the credit, and that is a really smart choice. It really helps this stand out, and it's a really good idea. The pink is a nice vibrant color, and oh my god, it goes together with the blue so much. I know I already mentioned that, but the blue accents with this pink color is so much better than fucking orange. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. And with the wrapper down here, it actually doesn't copy one of my only problems with that movie plushie. It has stripes on the base, and it looks really good. They're not like super pronounced, so it's not distracting. This is a plush that I would love to say a trillion things about, because it is a really fantastic one. But the fact is, that's all I can say. I'd say the Toy Cupcake Funko plush would get a 8 out of 10. Another figure, a Funko Pop of Withered Bonnie, which is one that I have very mixed opinions on. This was released in the same fake wave as Balloon Boy and Toy Freddy. Yeah, for some reason they did Withered Bonnie, Toy Freddy, and then Balloon Boy. Either way, this is a pretty creative pop, especially for Funko at the time, who, like I said, weren't really that interested in taking risks. So they wanted to make a silly bear and not much else. So this is a very interesting choice for them to make. Did they do a good job at it? Well, no, not really, but it's the thought that counts. Yeah, I am not a fan of the Withered Bonnie Funko Pop. And I know you probably cringed saying that since this thing catches a pretty penny on eBay. With how much play I've given this thing, yeah, I'm not sure who would want to buy this anyway. I think they captured the head shape very well. I really like how these big blocky Funko Pop ears look on this tiny little head. I really do like the simplistic Endo 02 design that they did with the little wires coming down. The Endo teeth here look absolutely incredible. So what don't I like about this figure? Everything else. He doesn't have a tail. Why does he have a tail? Looks weird, stupid tumor. His eyes are white. Well, it's nice that they gave him colored eyes, unlike the Balloon Boy Pop we saw earlier. White was not the way to go. Withered Bonnie has been depicted with white eyes, but that's not because he has them, it's because you're looking through a black and white filter. Withered Bonnie is almost exclusively seen with red eyes. I don't know why they saw all these examples of him with red eyes and then one with white, and they were like, yeah, let's do that one. Next is his arm, which I know I complimented the wires on his face. They're very flat on the side of his body here. They're all gray, so it kind of just looks like a lumpy mass of like maybe spilling oil. If we go down to his legs, not only does he have the incorrect amount of toes, oh wait, no, actually he has 4 toes on this foot, huh? That's weird. Why did they give him 4 toes on, wait, that doesn't really look like a Endo 02 endoskeleton. What, is that the... It's the fucking Nightmare Bonnie toes they just reused. This is incredibly lazy, super boring, and it doesn't even look good. I'm sorry, it's really weird going from McFarlane, who are so good about attention to details, to going to Funko, who couldn't give less of a shit. One thing I think they actually did very good on this pop is his colors. Now, obviously Bonnie's color scheme is a big point of contention with the FNaF community. The fact is, Bonnie's never have a consistent color. In this case, Withered Bonnie very clearly is blue. I don't know if I would exactly say it's perfect for Withered Bonnie, but I think it's decent enough for what it is. For one last horrible thing about this figure, for some reason, Funko looked at this design and thought, yeah, we don't need a stand for that. Are you fucking kidding me? I keep this figure almost exclusively in the box, so it really doesn't matter that much. It is still a problem, and it's one that really annoys me. How did I get it to stand that first time? I don't understand. He bounces too much. Oh, okay, I got it. Pop has problems. It really does. But I also kind of appreciate what they were going for, but at the same time, I did see, I literally didn't do anything and it fell down. The fact is, this pop isn't very good. Really looks kind of bad in some situations. There's some really lazy design choices. They clearly just reused classic Bonnie's body with Nightmare Bonnie's foot. Look, I've seen a lot worse. I'm gonna give the Withered Bonnie Funko Pop a 6 out of 10. Now, I really debated putting this guy in this video, since I actually plan on doing a review of the new Withered Wave eventually when that comes out. And I thought, hey, it's a little weird to review this figure here when I'll probably be talking about the difference between them then. We have not seen the figure yet. It hasn't been revealed. But what we have seen is a possible leaked prototype of the figure, and it looks the exact same as the original. And if that is real and not like a leak, like fake, then yeah, maybe I shouldn't have reviewed this because I'll be doing it in a couple months anyway. This is not what this video is about. So I'm going to move on. Alright, this video is getting kind of long, so maybe let's speed through this one a little faster, alright? As you can see, I've had to double up with the singles, so let's start with them, shall we? Well, actually, let's start with him, shall we? First up, we got Rockstar Freddy, who looks fine. Just like Bonnie, he's only on this because there's a different Rockstar character that I really want to talk about. I wonder who it could be. But overall, this is a pretty good McFarlane figure. I really like how they did the microphone. It's nice and square, like in the game. His face looks very, very accurate, very spot on. If you lift his head like this, kind of looks a little more accurate. Oh my god, that looks just like him. That's crazy. Overall, there's nothing wrong with this figure. Yeah, it's just like, I just don't care that much about it. Yeah, Rockstar Freddy gets a 5 out of 10. Sorry, man. If only his hat was metallic. And next on the list is Nightmare and the little table. Yeah, this is a pretty lame playset. To be fair, I don't really blame them because it's like there's not that much you can go off of with FNaF 4, but like really a little tiny patch of bumpy concrete carpet and then a tiny little table with a lamp that doesn't even look like the lamp from the game that's like barely holding on. It's very lame if you ask me. The main attraction here is obviously supposed to be Nightmare, and he looks great. I'm not the biggest fan of Nightmare, but he doesn't have a lot of merch. I believe this is like one of 2. I'm not sure which one came first because they also did a Nightmare Fredbear. Even if it is a recolor, it looks pretty great. The head is ginormous, but because of that, it looks exactly like the game. They did a really good job capturing that. Even the little stomach mouth and the little golden hat. The only thing holding it back, aside from the playset, is that I don't like Nightmare. I think he's just a worse version of Nightmare Fredbear. Overall, this is an insanely detailed figure for how small it is. Even it being a character I don't like can't hold it back for me. I give the Nightmare McFarlane figure an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good one. And lastly, we got a double feature. Double feature alert. These 2 figures are a recolor pretty much, but that's not a complaint. That's just how they are in the game. We got WIthered Freddy making one of his only merch appearances ever. I say one of because we actually got the second one this year thanks to Funko for some reason. We got Shadow Freddy, who got a bunch of merch at the start. It's just all looks nothing like him. These look great. They don't exactly look like the characters, but I think they look enough that I think it works. They have these really sharp jaw lines, like butt chins, like handsome Squidward, and it looks a little strange. Not my favorite figures or whatever, but I really do like these. Shadow Freddy will be getting a 9 out of 10 because that purple color is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful, especially on the back. Keep in mind, this figure came alongside the Withered Foxy one that I showed you earlier. That's a pretty crazy combo. Withered Freddy is not quite ready to be ranked because this is his playset, just a desk. Okay, that's not entirely true. I've lost a couple pieces here. There is supposed to be monitors here in the back because it's FNaF 2. And they look really good. I'll show you a picture on screen. They look so good, I took the monitors out of the set to use for a little tiny miniature version of the FNaF office that I was making. I don't know what happened to them. I just lost them somewhere. This is not a very good set, if I'm gonna be fully honest. McFarlane has done this thing over and over again. They want to make more sets based on specific games, but they ran out of ideas. So what they'll do is they'll do the left vent, and then the right vent, and then the hallway. Ooh, and also the desk. Ooh, what about the back of the office? You forgot that one. And it's like, obviously with FNaF 2 it's not as bad, but FNaF 2 also has a billion characters, so I guess it's nice to get these characters no matter what. Obviously, I'm glad that they made them, because like that's why I've been ranking these based on the characters, not the set. Yeah, the highlight of this set is obviously the toys on the desk. They look great, representing the custom night. Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and they look adorable, especially Chica. Look at how adorable that Chica looks with the tiny cupcake. How the hell did they get that tiny cupcake looking so good? These already existed, I think, in a couple sets, like the Prize Corner one. We also have a very creepy looking Mr. Cupcake. I don't know how they did the tiny Mr. Cupcake better, but well. Balloon Boy, who looks really silly and stupid, but like, if you saw what his toy on the desk looked like in game, Honestly, they did a great job for the size. And then lastly, of course, we have the Golden Freddy plushie, which means canonically, whoever is behind the desk of this McFarlane set has beaten Golden Freddy mode. So it's not an amazing set. Like, I'm never gonna be like, this is the greatest set of all time. But honestly, it's worth it for all the little silly toys you get on the desk. This is awesome. Either way, Withered Golden Freddy is going to be getting a 7 out of 10. I know I hyped it up so much, but the figure itself, which, like I said, is the part that matters, doesn't really look like Withered Golden Freddy, and his color is more brown than gold. It looks like the Youtooz Dark Haunted Golden Freddy figure. It's a cute little set for what it is. If we're not talking about McFarlane, we only have 2 more normal sets of merch to cover. The very last review of the video, I want to feel special, so I know exactly what I'm saving for last. So that means that a bigger collection of merch is gonna have to go right now. And yes, I did say collection. Oh shit, I dropped some. And yes, I did say collection. For the penultimate segment of this video, we will be covering the MatPat Youtooz FNaF collabs. Yeah, I'm gonna be speeding through these ones a little bit. So we'll cover the pins first because there's a lot less going on. So in this collection here, aside from the figure, we have this set of 5 pins in this nice green box. A couple loose pins that have more themed gimmicks, but actually, one of these is not related to FNaF in any way. In fact, it's literally just the Xbox Achievements logo. Is that legal to sell that? This is not FNaF related, so this is not going to be reviewed. And that leaves us with, okay, well, still 7 reviews to do, so let's get a move on, how about? Like I said, I don't actually have a lot to say about these pins. I'm not the biggest MatPat fan in the world. That being said, they did a really good job with this. Let's start with this guy up here, the final timeline. This is pretty great. It's 3 file folders spilling out with documents with red string connecting it. It's super goddamn charming. I know there's not much going on here, but the way I score pins is by ranking how it looks, if I would want to wear it as a pin, and how well it works as a pin. And I think this one works great, you know? There's nothing on it that really screams like, I'm a big, stupid FNaF nerd. Without the text, this is just a cool pin, but with the text, it's still good, I should say. The text doesn't make it bad. Either way, the final timeline pin will be getting a 9 out of 10. And I know that sounds high, but it's a 9 out of 10 for a pin. Even if a pin is as high as 10 out of 10, it still will get nowhere near close to like a figure being 10 out of 10, you know? Next up is, this one is called Fury. And it's MatPat himself doing his classic pose. I just gonna have to say what I have to say. It's a 10 out of 10. Not only is this the most iconic thing that they could have done as a pin for MatPat, it works incredibly well with the silly expression and the raised eyebrow and the pose. It's literally perfect. Sometimes I complain about pins being cut off, but here it makes complete total sense because in the videos, they cut him off anyway. Sure, it doesn't have anything to do with FNaF, like in the slightest. On its own, I think it genuinely is a perfect pin. It looks perfect. I genuinely have nothing else to say. I'm gonna have to move on. All right, next is Music Man. Screamed Music Man one time when he was watching a trailer for Security Breach, and so I guess that's a MatPat thing. This pin is really good, but it makes me kind of sad. Like, this is a really good pin and a really good Youtooz design of him, but Youtooz does not seem very interested in giving us actual merch of DJ Music Man. They teased a regular pin of him a long time ago, but I'm not sure if that's coming. I think that might have been canceled. But yeah, no, this is a great pin of him, but then there's just a guy on top. Like, imagine if it was the same pin, but that guy on top was Gregory. That'd be so cool and creative. I would have loved that, but I don't know. Overall, I don't think it hurts it that much. I'll be giving the Music Man pin another 9 out of 10. I think it really does deserve it. In fact, I do think it's better than the final timeline. I think I like this one a little more, like, personally, but this one just objectively is better. Next, we have Psychic Friend. This one's really funny to me because where like that one had absolutely nothing to do with FNaF, this one has absolutely nothing to do with MatPat, which is really funny. Obviously, I know why it's here. When he referred to the Fredbear plush that follows around the crying child in FNaF 4, he would sing this little sitcom-like theme song. I just think this is a more of a deep cut reference. I don't watch MatPat's content. I used to watch his content, so this one kind of makes me more happy. Plus, it's just a really good Fredbear pin. Ignoring MatPat exists, it's just Fredbear. One, he doesn't have a walkie-talkie, and he's also missing his lighter accents on his tummy and his hands. I'm not really sure why they did that. That's the only thing that would have made it better. Either way, this is an adorable pin of Fredbear, and I'll be giving it another 9 out of 10. Yeah, 3 9 out of 10s and a 10 out of 10. That's crazy. you probably see why I really wanted to cover this today. Alright, well, we're about to break that streak. This one is called Lore, and it's a close-up drawing of MatPat's face in a green circle, and he's saying lore. Is this a thing he's known for? Like, I get all the other references. They're pretty easy. Is MatPat known for screaming the word lore really long? Is it like a common bit that he just goes, lore? I don't think I've ever heard him do that. I think you could tell by my tone that this is not a pin I like. It feels very lazy. There's no real reference. They had the other pin ideas and then they needed one more, so they just threw this in. But maybe someone could tell me in the comments, but like, is that something he says? I don't know. Either way, this is not a pin I would want to be seen wearing. It looks really stupid in my opinion. I appreciate subtlety in my pins, you know? I don't want someone to see my little MatPat pin and go, you're a fucking idiot. I want them to see it and be like, oh, that's kind of neat. And you're a fucking idiot. You know, I want them to hesitate a little bit. The MatPat lore pin is going to be getting a 3 out of 10. So yeah, we broke a perfect streak right at the end there. That's the ranking for the pins, but we're going to leave that out because like I said, we actually have 2 more. Let's do this one first. So this is just the Game Theory spinner pin, but with Music Man's face on it. That's really stupid, right? Like, I'm not the only one who thinks that's a really dumb, like, thing. So, as a gimmick, there are worse gimmicks. There are worse FNaF pin gimmicks. But, like, I just don't know why I do this. It doesn't spin, like, for a long time. Grinds against it if you move even in the slightest. So, I just, like, it doesn't, like, spin on its own. Like when you're walking, it doesn't spin. I genuinely don't really get what the point of this is, you know? Like I said, there are worse gimmicks that it could have been, so it's just the Xbox achievement logo, but with fucking DJ Music Man's face in it. And they made the yellow spikes white. It's just dumb. That's all I have to say. It's a 2 out of 10. It's not like the worst merch I've ever seen in my life, but it's just so lazy in my opinion. Are we gonna end on a high note, or are we gonna end on a third low note? So, this is a pin of Glamrock Freddy, but if you look at the original Glamrock Freddy pin, wow, it looks quite a lot better. My problem with that pin is, like, Glamrock Freddy's supposed to be big. He's supposed to be bulky. And that pin just made him look like a little baby, which is fine. This pin does a much better job at portraying what he actually looks like. But I like his like, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. He's got, like, hands going on, or maybe he's doing jazz hands, I don't know. And for the gimmick of this pin, you can open his little stomach hatch, and fucking MatPat stuffed in there. That's so fucking cute. That's awesome, man. That's so cool. It does stand a little bit more for what I said with the Music Man pin, where it's like, this is an amazing pin and I really like it. It's easily one of my favorite Youtooz pins. Like, it's up there. And I wish they do more pins with cool little features like this. The problem is, why is it MatPat, dude? Like, I get why it's MatPat, but like, once again, is MatPat known for hiding in Glamrock Freddy's stomach hatch? Is that something he does often? Or did they just have this idea and they thought, oh, you know what? Let's put MatPat in there instead. I don't know why Youtooz is so adverse to making merch of the human characters. You know, they made one pin of Gregory and Cassie and they're like, yep, that's it. We don't need to do it anymore. I don't even like Gregory. I'm talking like this. I don't even like Gregory. This is a great pin. It's really fantastic, and I'm not even gonna knock it points for that. This is an easy 10 out of 10. Like I said, it's my favorite. There's the dumb pin ranking. That took a little bit longer than I thought it was gonna take. I'll clean this up later. Let's get him out. Get him out of here. MatPat, gone are the days of the silly back where they're standing in the hallway. You know what? I was about to say he's not very scary, and I stand by that, but you know what? He did a pretty damn good job in the Random Encounters musical, so you know what? Fine. Yeah, so Youtooz started doing these little Windows backgrounds. This is actually the first time I'm showing this on my channel because we've been stuck in the past and still are. So yeah, they changed that cute little running gag on the back of the box that I really liked to a window display, which, yeah, is better, but I don't know. It just feels so much more bland. Not in this case, because the box is actually based around the FNaF movie location. Oh my god, it looks amazing. Why the fuck wasn't this the box for the FNaF movie figures? That's insane. Either way, I really like this box. The orange trim with the red and the tile, it looks really fantastic. It's genuinely one of my favorite sleeve designs for a Youtooz, but that's not really saying that much. As we can see, just like as a reminder, not part of the FNaF collection. This is a completely separate thing. Anyway, we got some time for some research. His famous catchphrase. In the top flap, he says, remember, It's all just a theory. Hello, Internet! Welcome to my research bunker, where for the last 13 years, I've been diving deep into the science, math, and lore. Is that something he said? After all this time, I'm finally ready to present you with this, my final timeline. Hashtag not clickbait. See, this is why I don't like MatPat. He's like not funny. Once again, this is so much better than fucking anything they did for the FNaF movie line. The back of those boxes are so bad. Anyway, let's get him out of here. The inside of the box is actually a reference to Security Breach. The silo with all the staff bot. Springtrap, but he's dead. We got fucking Chris David Evan. We also get Chica for some reason, and then they just repeat it. I was so excited because I was like, oh, wait, there's more pictures down there that you can't see on the inside, like kind of like the Pop Goes box did with the Black Rabbit. But then you look and it's just the same drawing. I'm ready to answer the age-old question. Not what does Artlad think. What if MatPat made videos about math instead? Yeah? Chew on that one. But what if, now, hear me out. What if MatPat taught the alphabet instead? Yeah, so this isn't even a negative thing. Youtooz have made one chalkboard design and they just like repeated it like 5 times. This isn't even all of them. These are just the ones I own. Like I said, not a bad thing. I just think it's really funny. Let's do one final test real quick. This thing here looks incredibly top heavy. You would think never in a million years would this stand, but, and you're pretty much right. It stands a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah. It's definitely not something you're going to put on a desk, but overall, I think, honestly, it works. Let's focus on him first, because he's a little less interesting. Matthew Patrick 13 here looks very good. There's a problem that I have with Youtooz, and I like Youtooz, but when it comes to their human characters, I think they mostly do a good job. Like Mike and Steve Raglan are 2 examples that I got recently that look exactly like them. Sometimes it just, they don't really work. Like, it doesn't really capture them very well. That being said, MatPat, this is fucking MatPat, guys. I can look at this and say, oh yeah, that's him. The expression with the slight eyebrow raise is just really good. I even love the pose. Like, I know it's just a man standing with a hand, but like, he's like, now hear me out. And I think it really fits what he's doing here. I really do like that. I think they did a really good job. He's wearing his classic red leather jacket, which I don't really watch the videos anymore, but even I know about that one. The top of him right here looks great. It looks like MatPat. It fits it very well. Good job. My only complaint is that if we're talking about just the figure, this has absolutely nothing to do with FNaF, which, whatever, it's fine. Like, I don't need him crawling out of that like the 8-Bit Ryan figure. If I'm being fully honest, and I know this is gonna sound stupid, the highlight of this figure is Psychic Fred and Fredbear. Oh my god, it looks straight out of the game. Like, that just looks like if they took the Fredbear plush from the private room and turned it into a real thing. That's so cool! I think the color looks really nice. It looks a little too green, but honestly, it's really grown on me. It looks really nice. I love the size of the hat. It's fucking huge. I love that he's sitting on the whiteboard. It's genuinely genius. I love it so much. As for the actual board, oh boy. Let's go through these epic references. And Purple Guy, it's very clearly a traced drawing. Purple Guy sprite Youtooz, which is kind of funny. Bite of 87, and then it like right next to it says Bite of 83, which I wish it added like a cross. I think that's supposed to be Fredbear, but I guess it works because they are basically the same thing. Oh, we got Remnant and a little ball of energy. Oh, we got the box. It says what's in the box. It's a nice reference. And then, so we get Princess Killer Animatronics, and then we skip 30 years after dead. And it says burn them all, which is pretty cool. In like literally an inch, they go 30 years in the future. This is what's unrealistic about this figure. So we got a picture of Glitch Trap here, a nice little drawing, and then it says not Afton. And then right next to it is Rise of the Mimic. Look, Youtooz, MatPat would never admit that Glitch Trap is the Mimic. Come on. Last on the timeline is Music Man for some reason, which all this is timeline stuff, and then there's that. And then of course on the top we have lore again. 3 goddamn times. Is that a thing he says? Yeah, it's a little stupid. It's a little cringe, but if you ask me, I would have preferred if it was a cork board and he was doing the red string around it. I think that would have looked a lot better as well. I think they did a pretty good job on this figure overall. But with that being said, I'm going to be giving the Game Theory MatPat figure an 8 out of 10. I know I was a little harsh on it, but overall, it is a good figure. And honestly, with Psychic Fred and Fredbear there, it's enough for me to say, yeah, this is pretty great. We have the last of the McFarlane stuff to talk about. More McFarlane! Yippee! Yeah, this is weird. I know it is. Rockstar Chica figure is absolutely perfect. Now, it's very rare that merch will make merch of a character that I like more than the actual character. Especially when it's a character I don't like at all, like Rockstar Chica. Rockstar Chica is not a well-designed character. I don't like her voice. The only thing I really like about her is her mechanic. Oh my god, this figure looks so good. I just kind of don't care. It looks exactly like her. Like her stupid square head and her weirdly shaped beak and her teeth and her bib and her maracas. It looks so good. But the blue aspects are something I like on the original version as well, so those look great here as well, of course. It's so funny to me how McFarlane can do something this small but this accurate, and Funko can hardly do like a regular 12-inch action figure and make it look good. Anyway, I know how weird this is, but Rockstar Chica is going to be getting a 9 out of 10. I know, but come on, this is really good. But you know what? For being a character I absolutely despise, you did good. That's a little harsh. I don't despise her. Next up is something a little different, which, Toy Bonnie. Let's just get the figure out of the way real quick. Toy Bonnie looks great. The fingers and the toes look especially accurate to the game. I like how they squished down his egg. I thought they did a good job with that. But obviously the face is where the magic happens. His big wide open jaw with his buck teeth and his little tiny ears, and the head shape looks exactly the same as the game. It all looks really good. But the reason I like this figure so much is actually because of the eyes. Merch seems to be really adverse to using Toy Bonnie's big eyes, which is really sad because it's part of his design that makes him look really unique in the game and actually kind of scary. You know how Toy Chica loses her eyes and her beak? Well, Toy Bonnie shrinks his pupils really low when he gets into the office, and it genuinely is really cool. But this is something that Scott hasn't done since. In every single appearance that he's made, his eyes have just never gone down in size, and I don't understand why they just don't do that anymore. It's so weird. I'm really hoping that the second FNaF movie can bring this back, because it's a real shame that we haven't seen it. Either way, this is a great Toy Bonnie figure. My problem comes in with the set. Whoa! Not only are the three only interesting things in the set stickers that are horrible and don't... Look, my brother did this. I didn't do these stickers, I swear. Not only is the actual vent part of the set not a vent, it's just a hole in the wall with a black outline and blue walls. Toy Bonnie's literally in this set and he's the same color as the vent. That's so dumb. And not only do they have a little lip where you could put a little dangly wire that literally doesn't connect to anything, and I lost it probably 8 years ago because why the fuck would that ever stay still for 5 seconds? But there's actually one really big flaw with this set. This isn't Toy Bonnie's vent. Toy Bonnie comes out the right vent. They switched Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica's vent. How the fuck do you even do that? Like, genuinely, how? Either way, the Toy Bonnie figure itself is great and will be getting an 8 out of 10 from me, only really being held back by the stupid set it's in. Oh, look, the V guitar. Oh, they're gonna get sued. For the last and arguably the only McFarlane review that needed to exist, the scooping room. This set is amazing. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess we should start with the scene itself. So, the scooping room is a perfect scene to make into a construction set. Well, the main build is just a bunch of gray walls and, you know, this Technic abomination here. There are some fun details, like the little camera over here, the start of what seems to be the other set of windows, which I kind of think it's funny that they didn't even finish it. And below all the parts here, there's actually a grate. Maybe to clean up blood or oil or something like that. And through the window, you can see Ennard poking his little head out. On the base of the scooping room on the floor is all of the different animatronic parts. We have Funtime Foxy with black eyes. Funtime Freddy with black eyes and lowered ears. That's really cute. And then Ballora, who, wow, that's literally just a Ballora head. That's so cool. And of course, we also have Bon Bon with creepy black eyes as well. I need a new mouse pad. Anyway, what's cool about these pieces, you can actually use these as functional animatronic parts. It doesn't really want to go on this one, but that's fair. So if you have the Toy Freddy set, you could just replace the head with the black-eyed one, and that's really cool to me. Like, they could have made these non-functional or just like molds, but no, you can fully use these to customize if you want. Actually, I do want to show one problem I have. McFarlane's not very good at building techniques, so yeah, to hold this thing up, this little window, they just put this one giant beam, this really heavy beam, and then this tiny little piece to hold the whole thing up. That the only connection it has is the very bottom of this, the ceiling here. And it works horribly. Oh shit, and now it all fell apart. I like McFarlane a lot. They're really good at these like little minifigure designs. What they lack in is actual like build quality. If we turn the scooping room around here, we can see the inside does not have much going on, but that's okay because what we do have is this little lever here. So with Ennard behind the glass and the scooper in front of you, if you push that little lever in the back, the scooper is functional. The scooper actually works. That's the coolest fucking thing ever. There's rubber bands in it, so when you push the lever, it gives it a real nice spring. It isn't even just like it goes in and out. It like pops, and oh wow, is it satisfying to use. McFarlane never does play features, ever. So to have a set of theirs that you could actually like literally put up an animatronic and scoop it is the coolest thing. Once again, back to the building quality. Oh my god, this thing is the literal worst thing in the world to build. It's so bad. But actually, we're not done yet. Obviously, I've been mainly judging the minifigures, but, you know, in here, I think this on its own is a great FNaF merch item, but we do have one more thing, and it's Ennard, who I'm not a huge fan of, but god damn it. This is one of the best pieces of FNaF merch ever made. Alright, think of all the compliments I gave the mini all that time ago, and then just apply it here, because it's the same thing. I love his spindly little fingers. I love how they did the eyes all over the body. They look absolutely incredible. Well, the back of the body doesn't look all that interesting. I don't really care about that, because the front is just so well done. The mask, it's all this matte color that, you know, usually it's like maybe not always super into that like matte texture, but it really looks good with that. I don't like when they make Ennard's mask shiny. I know that's probably more accurate, but I don't know, I feel like it never really works out for me. If we look close enough, you can see the eye is half closed. He's got his own eye. You can even see the teeth under there. Would it surprise you if I could tell you that you could take off the mask? McFarlane's the best FNaF merch company. Alright, I wouldn't go that far, but oh my god! An Ennard merch item that you can remove the mask off of? That's so awesome! I don't even think this looks amazing. I think the teeth look wrong. The little spaghetti spilling out of his mouth looks really weird and short as well, but just the simple fact that this is something you can do instantly makes this one of the coolest things that I own with FNaF. I hope it doesn't come as a shock when I say that this set is a 10 out of 10. This set right here, the scooper set, is one of the main reasons that I wanted to make a video like this. I've been raving about it for years, but I can't make a video about it. I'm really happy that I still have it all in one piece. I didn't lose any of those little extra guys. This thing is great. This is the best McFarlane set, in my opinion. I think it has some competition, but in my opinion, this is where it peaks. But with only 2 reviews left, and the last one being the longest of all, let's make this one quick. This is the official Freddy pillow pet. Did you even know that this existed? Basically, the Freddy Funko plush, but made into a pillow pet. Ooh. It's amazing. There's nothing else to say, it's really good. It's got the usual problems that a Funko plush has. The eyebrows don't look very good. Worse than usual even, because it's not Funko. The hat is really bad. I don't know if they're all like this, but it's like cut short a little bit on the front and just looks very bad. The only other complaint I could really give you is that his color is way too goddamn dark. It's a nice color, it is. If I'm being honest, I don't like Freddy's usual color. You know, the fact is, this isn't really what Freddy looks like, so that's a negative, you know? Freddy should look like Freddy, not some random bear. It's a good plush, it's cute, I can tell what it is. I've never had a pillow pet before. I know they're for kids, but like, if you try to cuddle it for like even a second, your hands will touch the little Velcro strap over here. It'll touch these little tags on the side. It'll touch the bow tie up here, the obvious giant head with the plastic nose. It's a horrible pillow. It really is. If I was judging this based on how good it is as a pillow, then yeah, it would get very low. But since I'm actually judging this based on how it's Freddy Pillow Pet, and that's kind of the coolest thing ever, then yeah, Freddy Pillow Pet gets an 8 out of 10. Are you ready? Today we're gonna ask the iconic age-old question, but what does Artlad think? Woo! What do you think about Freddy Pillow Pet?
I like his big bulbous eyes. I like that he constantly looks like he's panicked. He has really good coloring for some reason. Like, I really like the dark brown and the light tongue and shit. I like his facial expression.
That's me, Freddy Pillow Pet.
His hat looks a little funky, but I think it's very fitting. Though I wish this would go down.
Yeah, the hat.
Why is the front rim so much shorter than the rest of it?
I don't know. I mentioned that, yeah.
Well, I really like him. I think he's cute.
Thank you, Artlad, for answering the iconic age-old question of what does Artlad think about me? It's a real honor. And with that, we only have one last thing to review. If I'm being honest, it was hard finding this many things I wanted to talk about. Most things I will be talking about eventually. I'll be talking about in upcoming videos in Prize Corner. I'll be talking about in a later upcoming video about a certain game that has a lot of merch. But with this last item, I actually am going to kind of break my rules a little bit. I do think that in the future, there would be a good time to talk about this. The problem is, I don't know how far in the future that would be, and I don't even know if I'll be doing Prize Corner anymore at that point. This, my friends, is the Good Smile Freddy Fazbear Nendoroid. Holy shit, this is crazy. Like, I'm still kind of not over the fact that just this exists in the first place. Like, wow. I know they've been collaborating with a lot of American developers, especially mini games lately, so this was kind of inevitable. And with the success of this figure, they have, like I've said, they have teased later figures. I think they've teased Bonnie at this point, so I assume they're going to do the main 4, and then maybe they'll do Springtrap or Circus Baby. Box has this nice pizzeria linoleum floor and some looks about how you want to pose him. It's really weird seeing all the Japanese text with the FNaF logos and stuff. It's really kind of interesting. Let's open this sucker up. I put everything back, and so we can take it apart and detailedly review each piece. So, Freddy Fazbear, he comes a little different than this. This is just how I have him set up right now, and I'm not gonna do some customization. If you don't know, if you mess around with stuff like this, customization a lot, then you can just kind of ruin the figure, and then he'll never pose right, and I just really don't want to mess with that too much. This is how I want to pose him, with the wave and the microphone in the hand. If you pre-ordered Freddy, you would actually get this little stand, which is the logo that a lot of merch uses for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is Toy Freddy's face for some reason. I don't know why Toy Freddy is like the new face of the franchise. But if we put this little clear stand in Freddy's back, and then attach him there, standing, performing Freddy Fazbear. And wow, dude, it still looks amazing. It's just crazy that this thing exists. It's just so cool. Let's go through what else he's got here. Let's just dump it all out. We have a couple extra pieces. I believe this is what he already came with. It's just so you can have his other hand be waving. They even have the paw pads. Very nice. And then they have this little stub piece, which is what his other hand should usually have. Because for right now, I have a piece that extends his arm and bends it so he can wave. It looks a little awkward, but makes it work. And another thing he has is this. I don't know why he has this, but they gave us a second ass so he could be sitting down. I don't know when the fuck Freddy sits down, but sure. And then the other thing they give us here as an extra piece is these extra eyes. We'll go over those in a bit. So Freddy Fazbear himself, let's take a look, huh? So, wow, this figure's good. The body, I mean, let's not even talk about the head yet. The body is just so spot on. It looks just like his body with the bow tie painted on there, his bulbous shape. I wouldn't say he has a cloud speck texture, but he has this like nice bumpy pattern on his body, and it really looks good. It really makes him look like him. Legs are an underrated part of these characters. These are like perfect classic animatronic legs. Like they literally look spot on. I don't even have anything else to add. It's good legs. And every part of this is posable. If you wanted to pose his foot pointing, kicking that way, then you can do that. The head's pretty spot on. It's pretty accurate. It's a stylized figure. It's not going to be perfect, but I think they did a pretty decent job. I think it looks good enough. His ears, maybe the inside of his ears are a little weird, but oh my god, look at that top hat. That top hat, that's a Freddy Fazbear top hat. His eyes with the eyelids, the nose, the eyebrows, everything here is perfect. It really is. And here with his mouth, you can open the jaw And there's a little endoskeleton in there. That's so fucking cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. I know that's not like that groundbreaking, but come on, that is so sick. The only thing about this base figure, at least, that I can complain about is that his teeth are metallic. That's a new one. A lot of people seem really mad about this, like genuinely pissed off that this happened, but honestly, if you look at some of Freddy's renders from FNaF 1, I kind of see where they got this from. And thanks to this figure, I can never look at a render of Freddy Fazbear again without being like, wow, there's him and his silver fillings. But so, Freddy has a couple customization options, like I talked about, and 2 of them I want to show off. Why is he sitting? I don't have anything to add. It's just like, when has Freddy Fazbear ever sat down? But that is an option if you want it. And the other main option of customization, eyes, which conveniently you could take off his face, which looks very creepy. Usually when you take off these Nendoroid faces, it looks very creepy, but it actually makes a lot of sense here, so it's kind of funny like that. It's so funny like holding this face right here, because like this looks like something straight out of like a parts and service room in a FNaF location. That's so cool. Well, anyway, back in here we have a little pull tab, and you take his eyes right out. So we can, he's got 2 replacement eyes, one being like far-eyed thing here, and what it's supposed to be is supposed to be a jump scare, which, yeah, it kind of looks like that, but the truth of the matter is that Freddy never does a jump scare where he's like far-sighted. I don't really know why they did that. The other one is not as good as that one, and I already didn't like it. Gives one of his eyes pinpricks. Only one. I think if they were both pinpricks, then that would be perfect, right? It's just like the when he's outside the door of the office, it's perfect. It makes a lot of sense. But with the other one, it's like, what the fuck was the point of this? Like, he's looking up at the camera and like one of his eyes is in shadow. It's like, it's kind of cool, but it's like, I don't know, I'd rather they just both be black. I'm gonna give you a hot tip, because actually, neither of those eyes are the correct solution. It's to give no eyes. Any eyes out and put his head back on, he just looks like an empty costume. And I don't think any plastic eyes that they could put in there would look any cooler than this does right now. Holy shit, this is so cool looking. It just looks so creepy. For just the sake of this, I hope they continue to make the swappable eyes. All right, we've had our fun. Let's put the eyes back in. I mean, do I even have to say it? The Good Smile Freddy Nendoroid is obviously a 10 out of 10. This thing is amazing. FNaF merch has been fucking awesome lately. With Youtooz pumping out amazing after amazing figure, Funko finally getting their shit together the second they lose their license, and new companies like Good Smile and Hex coming around to give us the freshest, coolest take on FNaF merch we've ever seen. I think the future looks bright. And with that, I'm happy to end this little romp through my randomest FNaF merch items. There it is, the final table shot where I put everything together. This video was pretty fun to make. Tough, difficult, long as hell. But you know what? I had a lot of fun sitting down and just talking for a while. It's not something I get to do very often, even though it's my biggest passion. So, well, I can confidently say this video, talking for 3 hours, was a lot of fun. I will tell you with also confidence that this video is going to be the worst thing to edit. Either way, I'm really glad I made this video to give you a look at some merch items that I never would have been able to show you otherwise. Thank you all for joining me on this silly little adventure, and I'll see you all next month for the first episode of Season 3 of Prize Corner. I'll see you guys on the flip side. So usually when I'm done with one of these videos, I have my good friend, Marionette, right here. I have him come in and clear the table for me, usually making a big mess in the process, but not only is a lot of this merch really hard to find and really expensive, most of it's McFarlane. And as much as I would love to be picking a bunch of expensive off-brand Lego off the ground for the next month, you know, I think I'm actually gonna pass. Yeah, I know, Marionette, I took both of your jobs away from you this month, but it should be your vacation. You should go relax. Okay, fine. You can destroy one thing. Yeah, choose wisely. Are you happy? You want to destroy another thing? Well, too bad. Yeah, see you next season, buddy.